Welcome back to Adventures of a Black Belt Sommelier. I hope you'll indulge me today and allow me to rant a little bit because I have a rant. That kitchen behind me, it's a screenshot, obviously, because those people aren't moving, but that kitchen behind me is the kitchen at the French Laundry. I had a glass of champagne with the chef there night before last, and then walked down the street and had dinner at the bar at their Michelin two-star restaurant, Bouchon. The dinner was absolutely superb. There's a reason they have two stars that deserve them. The food was wonderful. The service was attentive. Wine selection by the glass was spot on, perfect for their food, which actually is not something most restaurants take into account in the United States. But at the end of the meal, I had an espresso. The espresso I had was top five I've had anywhere, anywhere. Here's the thing about espresso. You know, carrying it to the table if it is going to be good or not. You don't know carrying a steak to the table if it's going to be tender. You don't know carrying French just by looking at it. Just by looking at it is what I'm talking about. If French onion soup is going to be delicious, or pasta primavera is going to be delicious, or you know, veal saltimbocca, or whatever the dish, you don't know just looking at it if it's going to be delicious. You know, looking at a cup of espresso if it has a chance of being excellent. And that is because if it has a chance of being excellent, it will have the crema on top, which is the foam, kind of beautiful, light mahogany foam that forms on espresso when it's made properly. It's not hard to do. Starbucks does it a million times a day, millions of times a day. All you have to do is intend to care enough about the quality of your espresso to make an excellent one. If you're not going to make a good one, if when on the way to the table, you're looking at the espresso and it doesn't have the crema on, it's not going to be a high quality espresso. And if you care about the quality of what you serve, you should not serve it. You ought to just tell the guest your machine's broken, or whatever excuse you have. But you wouldn't intentionally serve a tough steak. You wouldn't intentionally serve terrible soup, but you're knowingly serving bad espresso because you can tell if it's good only looking at it. So this, by the way, this espresso at Bouchon was absolutely fabulous. Very thick, creamy crema on top. I knew when he said it in front of me, it was going to be fantastic, and it was. I love espresso. It's kind of a traditional end to a nice meal. It has less caffeine than other coffee. You drink less of it, so it has less caffeine than other coffee. And when it's made properly, it's really delicious. But when it's not made properly, it tastes like dishwater. So this is my challenge to you. If you're watching this and you're a restaurateur and you serve espresso, either serve good espresso or don't serve espresso at all. Because it's actually not ethical to serve an espresso that you know isn't good, but charge for it. Now, the other thing is that lemon twist that so many restaurants put on espresso. Don't do that. That tradition started in truck stops in Italy, and they put the lemon twist on there so you could use the oil, the acidic oil in the peel of the lemon, run it around the edge of the cup to sanitize the cup. The implication is that the cup isn't clean enough. Now, if you're serving your espresso in a clean cup, it doesn't need the lemon twist. It's not to put in the espresso. You don't need to add something bitter to something that's already bitter. It's a good idea to have clean cups. It's a good idea to have cups that are clean enough. You don't need a lemon twist to sanitize them. It's a good idea if you're going to serve espresso to serve excellent espresso or not serve espresso at all. A few years ago, the New York Times had an article on excellent espresso in New York City. I think at the time there were over 20,000 restaurants in New York. I'm not positive about that. That's what sticks out of my brain. In their estimation, there were 7 restaurants in New York City that served excellent espresso out of over 20,000. If you choose to serve excellent espresso, you can have as good an espresso as the top 7 restaurants in New York City. That's a pretty good goal to aim for. If you're not going to serve excellent espresso, stop serving it or figure out how to fix it. That's my rant. Please, please accept my apology and my appreciation for your being willing to listen to me about this. It's a hot button topic for me. Thanks for tuning in to Adventures of a Black Belt Sommelier. Thanks for listening to me rant. Have a wonderful Labor Day.